Just starting to breathe a little deeper, letting the exhales fall longer than your inhales. Feel your heart rate start to calm down, getting rid of anything you're bringing with you that you don't want to take throughout this hour that is just for you. Maybe start to seal the lips and exhale just through your nose. Inhale back through the nose. This warming breath helps to calm our minds, center our thoughts, because we can hear that audible sound of the breath a little bit more. Take a few more breaths here. Hopefully these are the deepest, the most full breaths you've taken all day. Wherever you are, take one more full breath. After your deep exhale, keeping your eyes closed, we're going to bring the hands to heart center. Thumbs and your thumb joint press into the sternum. We take a few more breaths here to feel that life force. As you inhale, feel your chest push against your thumbs. And exhale, let it fall back. Feel the thumbs press into the sternum. So this push and pull that we feel, we start to really ignite the power of our breath through our movement. And this is the foundation for the rest of our time together this evening. The breath beginning the movement. We can have movement and breath separate, but tonight, for the rest of our time, let's have breath and movement as one, and the breath starts it all. Feel that rise and fall, that active pressing into the sternum with the hands. Take 3 more breaths just like this. Reminder to melt the shoulders down your back. Maybe unclick your jaw, relaxing through the face, unfurrowing your eyebrows. After your last exhale, again keeping eyes closed, we're gonna bring the thumbs to the space in between the eyebrows, to the third eye center. Do a little rub one side counterclockwise and then clockwise. Just waking up that space between the eyebrows. And then bring the hands back down to heart center. We're going to begin our practice formally with one Om, feeling that vibration that exists within you, just translated out of your body. Your choice, breath or audible sound. One clearing breath before. Inhale. Exhale all your air, let it go. Inhale for Om. Om. Let it go. Flutter open your eyes. And let's begin. Coming all the way to a low crouched position, we're going to begin this evening in a standing position. So gently transition yourself into a low crouch. This is going to symbolize our birth, our rebirth into this series tonight. So make sure your feet are right underneath of your hips, stretching out the backs of your ankles. Let it feel really good. And once you are stable, start to melt the torso down, roll the upper back. Let the head and neck go, maybe shaking yes and shaking no. Keep breathing here, feeling that gentle compression in the low belly. Take one more breath. And then on your exhale, just drop the heels into the earth. Start to straighten through the knees. Find yourself in a forward fold. Nice, big fold. Pedal out your knees. Be gentle with your body. If you've been sitting a lot today, or if this is your first fold, let yourself ease into it. One final breath. And then gently start to roll through the spine, stacking one vertebra at a time. Head is last to lift. Once you reach the top, melt the shoulders down your back. Gaze shifts forward. Hands come out at your sides. Find your mountain pose. As tall as a mountain, welcoming the day, welcoming the evening. Let that go. Inhale, arms are going to come up overhead. Just clasp one hand around the other. So grabbing the opposite wrist, doesn't matter which side is first, but you're going to exhale over to the side. Just start to open up through the side body. Now, if you don't have any mirrors around, the goal as we do this half moon, as we call it, is not to bend forward or to bend backwards, but it's to remain between two panes of glass. So pretend like you're just sliding yourself down. Once you find your first catch point, stay there and breathe. You can hold right there, or you can inhale, extend up and through the hands again, and exhale, find one more inch of depth. Beautiful. We're here for two more breaths. Make sure the low back isn't talking to you in a negative way. If it is, you've probably gone too far for this opening series. Just be gentle with your body. One more breath. And exhale, come on back through center. You can drop the elbows. Maybe just roll the hands or the elbows side to side if you need to release. And then come on back up, arms overhead. Find the opposite side. Inhale, grow 1 inch. Melt the shoulders down. And then exhale, find your half moon on the other side. So this is just very gently aiming to open up the sides of our core, our obliques, as well as the side of your body stretching into the hip. Again, only go as deep as it feels right in your body. If you've gone too far, you might notice and come back. We're here for 2 more breaths. After your last exhale, come on back up. Release the hands to the side, and we're going to bring our hands to our hips, or they can come out to a T. Feet are going to come hip width apart. We're just going to take some good mornings, as we call them. So just bend all the way down, and then come all the way back up. So the goal is a gentle stretch through the hamstrings when you reach that tabletop flat back, and then come on back up. But you're also turning on the core just slightly, because we know that the back can't lift us up on its own. So we have to find that connection between the core and the back together as one unit. You can even place your hands on one side and the other to feel that. Take 3 more. Find what breath pattern works for you. Maybe it's inhale as you descend and exhale as you come back up, or the other way. Try both. Inhale and exhale. Or stay for your inhale, then exhale as you go down and come on back up. Last one. And let it go. Shake out side to side. We'll turn to face each other one more time. Legs are going to come out wide in a wide stance, widest we've been in so far. Arms come out to T, and we're just going to take a nice cross-body twist. Opposite hand, aiming for opposite foot. Be gentle with your inner thighs and your hips. You may have some pops. We're just warming up very slowly. Again, bring the breath into this movement. Let the breath start the movement. Exhale as you spin to one side. Inhale as you come back up. Let those obliques start to turn on. This is gentle work for them, but they can handle it. Take 2 more on each side. All 4 corners of the feet rooted into the earth, making sure that stability is there and the knees don't have to hyperextend. After your last one, hold on that side, place that hand down, opposite arm twists up, find an extended twist here, really opening up through that top shoulder. Aim to stack the shoulders, one on top of the other, gaze shifts up. 1 more breath. And exhale, come through center. Switch to the other side, replace that hand. Opposite hand twists up. Again, gaze can shift up, stack the shoulders. 1 more breath. And exhale, come back through center. A nice malasana, wide-legged forward fold. Just stay here. Shift side to side with the hips if that feels good. Shake the head yes and no. And then very slowly flat back or roll all the way up back to standing. And toe heel your feet in. We're coming down to a seated position. Bring your props with you. Bring that pillow with you as we head down. We're going to begin with a core series on our elbows or our forearms. So knees come up, feet come into the earth. I'm going to take off my socks for better stability. And then you're just going to roll yourself back so that your elbows are kind of like a kickstand. Now in this position, make sure that we're not dumping into the shoulders. Your core is still working. It's still lifting you up like you had a string from your sternum to the ceiling. Now from here, we're going to inhale, bring one knee in, and exhale, place it down. Inhale in, other leg, and down. Or you can try the opposite breath pattern. Inhale, and exhale, bring that knee in. Inhale, place it long. Exhale. Inhale, down and out. Keep that going. See if you can find a count that works for you. I'll bring our music to a little bit of a louder volume, so maybe you find a count that works with the music. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up for 2, down for 2 if that works for you. Keep lifting that chest up, melting the shoulders down. We have a new beat here. Catch it if it works for you. If not, let it go. Take your own pace. We take 3 more on each side. That core might start to fatigue. Let it be on. Let it work here. This is good work, stability work. After your last one, float your opposite leg to tabletop and hold. Now flex the feet. We're going to take both feet out and back in. Out and in. Now bring that breath in. Inhale and exhale, pull in. Just a few more. I promise, keep it going. Now if you're feeling turbo and you want to come up to a boat pose, you can take this from a boat pose position. You'll probably have to lift your chest up a little bit more to find that balance point on your sit bones. Take 3 more. After your last one, find a place where you can hold, whether that's both legs up like this or in a full boat pose. 3, 2, 1. Come to a butterfly pose. Melt yourself forward. Let it go. Core work can be very intense. And the key is some work, some release, and then right back into it, because these muscles fatigue quickly. One more breath in your butterfly pose. And then we're going to come back to that position we just were in, but not all the way down on our elbows. So this time, we're going to come with just our toes on the ground. So your heels are lifted like your toes are pointed. If you have a dance background, this may feel familiar to you. So toes are pointed, and we're going to come up to that boat pose with our toes on the ground. So from here, you're pulling up through the core so that your back doesn't round. Nice and straight. You can always grab behind your thighs if you want to feel what that's like to have a straight back. And then we're going to take a few twists. Walk the feet out just a little bit so you have room here for your hands. We're going to take some twists with our hands, but our shoulders stay forward. So if I face you, it looks just like this. Arms twist to one side, back center, and to the other side. So you're feeling that one side oblique light up, and then the other side when you move the hands side to side. But we're not taking a full twist through our torso, and our hips are reminding us of that. So hips stay nice and stable, toes stable on the earth. You can place your heels down if you'd like, but keeping the toes up puts a little more weight into the core. One side, back to center. Where's your breath? How can you put it into this posture? How can you let it begin the movement? Exhale over to one side and inhale back through center. That's what works for me, but take whatever works for you. Maybe you feel the base of your lats light up when you come over to one side. Feel that back cinch in. Take 2 more all the way through. If you feel pain in the low back, let that core lift you up. Once you are finished, come to hold in the center. Rock yourself back just a bit. Come into your boat pose. So hands are back behind the thighs, just like this, or you can release the hands. We're just gonna take 5 V-ups, only 5. Inhale, extend long, exhale back. Inhale long, exhale back. Inhale long, exhale back. 2 more. That's it. No hold at the end. Once you are done, just come right back into a butterfly pose. Let yourself go. Maybe rock side to side, stretching out that connection between the low back and the hips, the pelvis. All about that release after building tension. You're doing great. Remind yourself of that. Not everyone wants to do a little core work and some stretching at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. So you are already doing amazing things for your body. All right, coming back through center. We're gonna take a nice restorative posture in the middle here to let our body cool down. Either you take some restorative bridge lifts rolling down onto your back, or you bring your pillow in and just find a restorative bridge hold. That's where I'm gonna be because I really love the opening through the hip flexors. So if that's you, take your pillow, just come in front of it, and then roll yourself back. Hips stay on top of the pillow or bolster. Coming into a restorative bridge with that pillow supporting you. No pillow, just take a few bridge lifts. Lifting up, it's a little bit more work, but let it be restorative. Aiming to stretch out the hip flexors as much as you can. If you're holding in your bridge lift, option to let your legs go long. Finding that nice opening through the front of the hips. Open the chest, let the shoulder blades come together behind your back. Option for cactus arms, goalpost arms, whatever you'd like. This moment is yours. Hold and breathe. Take 2 more breaths. And then let it go. Gently start to bend your knees if your legs were long. Maybe roll over to one side or press into your heels to lift up your hips and scoot your pillow out. Lower your hips down. Just rock the knees side to side. We're going to stay on our back for a little bit more core work. Calling this flat back work. When you are ready, knees come to stillness in the center. Just start to rock them up. And then when you are ready, feet extend upwards. Now it's okay to bend your knees. Knees don't have to be locked out because sometimes that makes them travel into a place we don't want. So knees can be bent, arms come up right over top of shoulders, and we're going to take some bookends. So feet and hands go in the opposite direction, and then pull them back together. Inhale, extend feet and hands away from each other. Exhale, pull them in. Now, if all you're feeling is your hip flexors, bend the knees. Take this from a bent position. And if that still doesn't feel good, you can take those reverse marches, what we did before. One knee, and then let it go. Other knee. You have so many options here. Adjust if you feel pain, and know that none of these choices means anything less than success for your body. You are listening. We'll be here for just a little while. Try to let that work travel away from the hip flexors and more into the core. If you feel the low back start to arch, you've gone too far. Reduce the range of motion. Find those shakes. That's the good work. Take 5 more sets all the way through. Mount the shoulders down your back. Again, unfurrow your brow, unclick the jaw. Let the face be relaxed. Let the breath begin each movement. After your last set, come to stillness in the center and then start to find your lowest point. Dropping the legs down, dropping the arms down. Our final hold here. You have 10 seconds. Scoop the core in, low back touches the earth. It's okay if the legs lift, let them drop. Last 5, 4, find 1 more inch, 2, 1. Bring the knees into the chest. You did it. Rock side to side. Extend one leg long. Pull the other one into the chest. Just send that hip flexor long. Roll the ankle out one way and then the other. And then switch legs. We'll find that good figure 4 twist in just a second. This is just a hip flexor release. Nice work. Let that leg go long, then start to bend the knees into the chest, rock over to one side, and then come to a quick tabletop position, but we're coming back into a child's pose. So you're just now belly to the earth, just the opposite position. You can take child's pose with no props, or you can bring that bolster in between the legs, knees are wide, toes come to touch, and then you just melt over top of the bolster. Let the hips and low back release. This is a gentle stretch. If we built up any low back tension in the last series, just let the hips melt down. Use your fingertips in front of you to push the hips back like you're creating a little traction between the fingertips and the base of your sacrum, stretching it out, lengthening. Stay here, melt into this posture for 3 more breaths. after your last exhale, gently start to walk yourself up. Our last bit of core work, I promise, last bit right here. So you're in that tabletop position. One knee is going to come in the center of your body. Opposite one extends to the side. So take a look and make sure that your grounded knee and the arch of the extended foot are in line. We're just transitioning into a side plank series here. So this is a kneeling, a supported one. If you want to go a little extra tonight, you can always take this without that grounded knee, just extending both legs to the side. I'll show you with the kneeling position, but take whatever works for you. On your next inhale, you're going to lift that top leg. Now from here, you're going to bring that top arm behind your back. So that top arm is now no longer a part of this. It's all about that core and the oblique that is lifted, as well as the one that is supporting your body on the lower half. Holding here to breathe. We're finding that static hold. If you would like to add a little bit of motion, you can bring that knee into the chest and then extend it back. But I find it really good to just hold this position. Beautiful job. Now, only if you find that stability, start to extend that top arm up. There we go. Now we find that it's easy to stack the shoulders. Instead of the top arm just kind of being a waving distraction. Gaze shifts up. Last 3, 2, and 1. Drop that knee down. Come into a tabletop position. Just find some cat-cows. Maybe some rolls through the neck. And then walk yourself over to the other side. So you know exactly where you're going. Just bring that opposite leg up. Grounded hand into the earth. Top arm behind your back in that half bind. And leg lifted. You can hold here. You can add some crunches in and extensions out. But know that both sides might not be the same. They might be completely different. And it's your chance to honor that here. Your last bit of work. Even if it doesn't feel that challenging, let this work be stabilizing, be grounding, taking you into the rest of your week with balance and stability. Maybe you start to extend your top arm up, gaze shifting up, let that leg stay lifted, let the shoulders stack, tension out of the neck. If gazing up gives you tension, gaze down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come back through center. One more child's pose. Knees wide, toes come to touch. Press your hips back. One more breath. And exhale, gently start to walk yourself up. We're just going to shift our seat around. Bring the knees and the legs in front. Coming into 2 sets of forward folds. First set, legs together, heels together. Option to grab your bolster or your pillow if you know that this would help you to stay in this stretch for longer with less pain. Inhale, arms extend overhead, and exhale, start to find your edge. Now, if you think this is somewhere you can stay for a few breaths, maybe releasing the head and neck, go ahead and stay here, grabbing onto whatever you can, or just bring your pillow on top of your legs, as close or as far away as you'd like, and come to rest on the pillow. This forward fold is just as much for the hamstrings, the calves, the backs of the legs as it is for the entirety of the spine. So let the upper back release, let the mid back expand, let it all happen. And if you feel one area more than the others, adjust if that needs to happen. Feel that breath expanding through the space in between your shoulder blades. That lovely area that's really hard to stretch. We're doing it with our breath. Look at that. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Nice and deep. Oh, gently start to walk yourself up. I could stay in that one all day. Man, you can never get enough. Start to roll the pillow off to one side and widen your legs only as wide as you feel comfortable so that the knees and the toes can stay facing up. You know, we have this stigma where our knees and our feet have to be so wide. Don't worry about it. It means nothing. So legs comfortable, arms come up overhead. Same thing, just a wide angle forward fold here. No one's judging you if your legs are closer together than you want them to be. No worries, no judgment here. Again, your pillow is at your disposal if you want. But once you find your lowest point, gaze at your heels and your toes, making sure that they are in alignment. They're a really great barometer to see if your knees have turned inwards. Again, we'll be here for a little while, so let the upper back melt, let the chin tuck. Take one more breath, and then gently start to walk yourself back up. Keeping your legs wide. You can keep the pillow there or move it if you would like. We're just going to take a couple of side stretches. So extending one arm, same arm as leg. Bring the opposite arm overhead. Find that nice oblique stretch on one side. Maybe for fingertips, reach for the toes. Maybe that top arm comes behind your back if it's a distraction and you'd rather open through the shoulders. Find what works for you here. We won't be here quite as long. Take 2 more breaths. Last exhale, let it go, and then on your next inhale, come on back up through center, and exhale to the other side. Same thing, but know that this might be completely different in feeling. Reaching for the toes, maybe opening through the shoulders. Feeling that oblique stretch out. Take 2 more breaths. Beautiful job. Nice work. Come on back up. Coming into center. And then go ahead and remove the pillow if it's still there. Close your legs like a book. And we're just going to take a quarter turn if you were facing me and roll down onto your back. Nice and slowly calming down, closing down our practice, rolling onto your back. And we're going to take a spinal twist, so bringing the knees into the chest and then let them rock over to one side. Now I should have let you know before we came down to grab your strap if you would like it. Option in this spinal twist, you can extend one leg out long and hook that strap around your toes. Allow it to ignite through the IT band. You can do this without your strap though. You can just reach for your toes. If at any point that becomes distracting to the twist, let it go. The aim here is to let everything melt into the mat. Take 2 more breaths on this side. Let any tension go with your exhale if you still feel it. The last breath. And then gently come back through center using the core to pull you back up. And exhale over to the other side. Maybe if you tried that top leg extended, try it on this side. If nothing else, just to notice if anything feels different. But you can always let it go. Let the shoulders melt down into the mat. Let gravity do its work, lengthening out all the muscles. Last breath. Last exhale, come on back through center. Pause when you get there. One leg is going to cross, one foot's going to cross in front of the opposite knee. Bring your hands to the space in between, thread the needle, and gently pull back for a figure 4 stretch. Let this be as restorative as it needs to be. Gently pulling back. Take 1 more breath on this side. Nice deep exhale. Gently start to unwind your legs. Maybe pull both knees into the center. One just kind of cleansing pull into the center. And then cross the opposite leg in front. Same thing, other side, figure 4. Relaxing down, let the low back melt into the mat here. Let the weight of the skeleton straighten out the whole back. Shoulder blades melt into the mat, the straightest that you've been all day, like a board on the ground. Beautiful. One more breath on this side. And then let it go. Unwind your legs. And one foot's just going to cross in front of the other, just like a figure four, but we're coming into a reclined cow face. So one foot crosses in front of the other, not in front of the knee, but behind. And then find the outsides of the feet, gently pull down. I should say like a figure four in the targeted muscles, but a little bit more gentle. You have so much control with this posture for how deep you pull, how deep this stretch goes, how hard you pull, I should say. Letting the heart rate come down. One more breath. And then helicopter your legs, just switch right onto the other side. One final glute stretch here, targeting the outsides of the glutes. I like to kind of rock side to side. I like to feel this stretch travel as my legs move. Take one more breath and exhale. Now, option for your inversion tonight, you can just bring both knees into the armpits, reaching for the toes or the backs of your legs, whatever you can find, and find a happy baby. Or if you have a wall close by and you'd like to find legs up the wall, you can travel to do that. If you do have a wall and it's not too disruptive to go find the wall, you're just going to bring one hip point up against the wall in a sideways position, and then just shift yourself around as you roll backwards. The legs are going up the wall, arms out, either in cactus arms or low V. The goal here for our inversion is simply to get the feet above the heart, to reverse the blood flow. Coming at you like a Spider-Man pose over here. Reverse the blood flow down and out of the feet, back into the heart space. It's like the full circle posture for all the time we've spent together. So we take everything from the extremities and we bring it into the heart space, just like we do with our practice. So we take everything that's zooming around in our heads before we get here while we're on the mat, and we just do, we pull it in, we pull it to the heart space, and then we let everything else go. That's not important. Continue to breathe here. We'll take 3 more breaths in this inversion. After your final breath, you make a choice for yourself where you want to be for your final resting pose. You can stay in your inversion. You can roll gently off to one side and come into a traditional Shavasana, just laying on the ground. You can come into a restorative bridge, whatever you'd like. But once you get there, take one final body scan, melting the shoulders down your back. One check through the eyebrows, one check through the jaw, traveling all the way down to the tips of your toes. Any tension you feel, Inhale, grab onto it, and exhale, let it go. Celebrate all the work that you did, all that calm, that peace that you've cultivated. That's always inside, that's always available to you. Everything begins with the breath. Every little step that we take begins with the breath. Every day, this journey through a very difficult time becomes a little bit more manageable through the breath, through this notion that we can always keep going. We always have a little bit more fight left within us. We always have another inhale and exhale. You learn as you go. We grow in our capacity to wonder, to be curious, to learn. So if no one has told you yet today, from me to you, you're doing a great job. Just keep going. That's what we're all doing, right? We're just gonna keep going. And we'll be here together to support each other along the way. Take one more breath, just for you. All encompassing, clearing breath. Gently start to invite some movement back through your body, wiggling through your fingers and toes. Maybe rippling to some ankle and some wrist rolls. Bending through the knees, rocking side to side, or whatever position you are in. Take a gentle exit out of it. And maybe falling over to one side, you gently find yourself coming into a seated position where we began. Eyes closed, hands come to heart center. Stay here with yourself for just one more moment. Clearing breath. Exhale all your air. We end with that vibration that is uniquely our own, the sound of our own. Inhale for Om. We bow to each other. The light in me honors the light that is radiantly shining through each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us here in this space. Have a wonderful evening and an even better week. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. Our live stream is stopped, so